you're having a good Hey everyone, I hope you're having a good afternoon so far. Please just let me know on the Edmodo page if you can hear me. And I am going solo on this video chat, so I'm sorry if I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between this monitor and this monitor. Um, I will try to make sure that there aren't too many pauses in my talking, but again, I'm an awkward talker, so we'll see how this goes. Just one second while I put a sign on my office door, and then we'll get started with our chat while everybody continues to join us. If you can hear me, please let me know on the Edmodo page, and I'll be right back. Okay, so checking on Edmodo. I hope everyone is enjoying drama as much as I am right now. I am trying not to read ahead because I love it so much, and it's so easy to just continue reading with graphic novels for me. I love graphic novels. I probably read more comics and graphic novels than I do regular books, so I'm really, really jazzed to be able to share some other graphic novels that I have pulled off the shelf for you guys today, and then also to dig more into what's going on in the story and drama, because a lot of stuff happened in the past, about 70 pages that we've had to read for this section. So everything was kind of warming up in those first 60 pages, and now we're starting to get to know Jesse and Justin, who are the two new characters that have been introduced, and kind of having a lot more drama, who would have thought it, going on with the other characters that are in the story as well. So in just a couple of minutes, we will get started. Just want to give everyone a chance to get on here. All right, it looks like Megan can hear us. I'm seeing that Zach is responding to some of our questions. Hopefully you guys have found the YouTube link. Now it should be up on the Edmodo page just in case the Google Hangout link is not working for you. I have a really bad habit of speaking to my computer monitor instead of to the camera, so I'm sorry if it looks like I'm not looking at you guys. Trust me, I wish I could see you face to face because I love talking about books face to face, but this is the next best thing. So, like I said, I'm going to be going back and forth between this screen and posting some of the different questions. It looks like Mrs. Yother, Karen has joined us from the Hayden Library, so we have her with us today. And again, just let me know if you guys can hear me. Make sure that everything is working all right for everyone, and then we'll get started in just like 2 minutes. But yeah, how's everybody's summer going? It's been a really hot day today. I don't know if anybody saw the sunrise this morning, but it was like this huge red glowing ball in the sky, and I thought that was pretty crazy. I'd never seen it that intense before. So we do have an intro question posted up on Edmodo right now. If you guys want to go ahead and respond to that question right now, I'm just asking you, have you ever revealed a big secret to a friend? Obviously, this section of the book was all about secrets. There were so many different secrets going on between the friends. There's lots of different relationship dynamics happening between Matthew and Callie, and Greg and Callie, and Justin and Callie, and Jesse and Callie, and basically everybody in the book and Callie, and how their relationship with her is changing right now. So just really hoping that things work out for her in the end. If you're seeing in the back of me right now, that's Barbara, my office mate, so she's going to be kind of hanging out with us as we go through our chat today. But again, respond to that question. Have you ever revealed a big secret to a friend? How did they react? Were they supportive? And did your friendship change because of the secret? So it looks like Jordan says, yeah, a little bit. So Jordan has revealed a secret to a friend before, kind of a big secret. And looks like his friendship did change a little. Sorry, Jordan, ambiguous name. But Jordan's relationship with the friend did change a little bit because of that secret. So I definitely can relate to that. I've talked to my friends about some very different things, and sometimes they're incredibly supportive, and other times we disagree about different thoughts that we've had. So definitely changing in relationships when those disagreements come up, but obviously if they're a good friend, they're always going to be supportive of what's going on in your life. Okay, so now we're about 5 minutes into our half hour, so let's go ahead and get started with our discussion for now. One of the things that I noticed a lot, starting on page, gosh, it must have been right away in that chapter, starting on page 62, right after Callie gives the gift of the pincushion to Liz, her costuming friend, Matthew comes up. And Matthew is a character that I'm kind of confused about at this point. I haven't read ahead in the book, so I'm trying to make this as spoiler-free as possible, and we should definitely try to keep everything on Edmodo, again, keep that spoiler-free, because there are a lot of people that are just trying to keep up with the reading that is scheduled for every week, and we don't want to spoil the book for them, or the graphic novel for them. So one character that I'm really interested in right now is Matthew, because he seems to be responding in a lot of really negative ways anytime Callie says something to him. So for example, when she is giving Liz the pincushion on page 62, this lovely set of illustrations, she says that she went over to Yoshi's J Mart with Justin and Jesse, and Matt kind of reacts really negatively towards that and says, their stuff's way too cutesy for me. And later Callie ends up saying, what is Matt's problem? And obviously using that same thing that Krista pointed out in our last meeting, she pointed out that there's a lot of bold words that are used, and there's a different kind of typeface that's used when they're trying to express kind of angry emotions in the characters, and that's exactly what's happening in one of these panels on this page. There's very bold words, and Callie's just saying, what is Matt's problem? Because she doesn't understand what's going on with him. He's really reacting negatively in a lot of different ways. So one of the questions that I have for you is just kind of talking about this situation. Instead of confronting Matthew about his negativity, Callie chooses to sit outside instead of at her normal place in the cafeteria with the rest of the stage crew. And she spends a good portion of this section of the book kind of avoiding him. So why do you think she chooses not to confront Matthew? And how would you respond to a friend that was giving you negative responses or rude responses? So that's one question that I would love to hear your responses to. I think that she really has been avoiding that confrontation, and I don't exactly know what's going on with Matthew. Right now it seems like everybody and their dog is in love with Callie, so my bets are on a budding relationship there, and he might be just a little bit jealous that his friend is starting to kind of explore this different idea of friendship and moving away from friendship and looking more at like boyfriend-girlfriend status, or like looking at deeper relationships rather than just being friends with boys. So my guess is that he's kind of having that sort of reaction, but I also don't know, because obviously I haven't read ahead of what we're supposed to be at right now. So I don't know if anybody else has been caught up in this whole Matthew situation that's going on, but Shelby is actually responding and saying, summer's great, the sunset was amazing last night, she went for a bike ride, and the clouds look like rainbow cotton candy. And that's a really, really good analogy for, or description of what the sun actually looked like last night and then also this morning. So thanks, Shelby, for giving input on my babbling. All right, so other things that I said we were going to talk about today. There were so many secrets in this section. So lots and lots of secrets in this section of the book. Justin revealed that he is gay. Callie's relationship with Greg is being kept a secret from Justin and Jesse, his brother. And then Jesse is asking just a little secret, well, what can be considered a little secret, that he actually preferred West's audition over Justin's audition. So all of these secrets are just starting to build up and build up. And one of the other questions that I had for you is that first, Callie doesn't seem to know how to react to Justin revealing that he is gay, because that's one of the big things that happened in this section was that Justin and her went to lunch, and they sat down and they started just talking, and he kind of let her know about this big part of his life that he hasn't told many people about. And so at first, Callie doesn't really seem to know how to react to Justin revealing that he's gay. He also puts a lot of thought into who he tells and who he doesn't tell. So why do you think it is that Justin decided to tell Callie his secret? And if Jesse and Justin's roles had been reversed, do you think Jesse would have told Callie? And why or why not? So obviously, Jesse and Justin are twins, and they have a lot of similarities, but they also have a lot of differences. Justin is very outgoing. He likes to be the lead performer on the stage. He doesn't like to be in the background. He likes to be constantly around people. He likes to tag along with different things. Whereas Jesse is a little more subdued. He likes being in one-on-one tutoring situations. He likes being part of stage crew, but he also has this really great talent for being able to be on stage. So that's kind of something that he struggles with himself, is having that talent, but then also being too shy to really overcome that and want to put himself out there like Justin does. So if you guys just want to respond to that question on there, I know that was a really big bombshell that kind of came in this section of the book, and that's something that I'm sure we're going to be dealing with as we move through the rest of the book. Is why is it that Justin has decided to reveal the secret to Callie? Is she going to be able to keep it a secret? Because that was something that came up as her old friends, Matt and Liz, came and looked for her when she didn't show up for lunch. That was one of Liz's first questions, like, well, why were you hugging? You know, who's this guy that we haven't met before? Why haven't you introduced us? And Callie not really knowing how to respond to that because she can't give away this secret that doesn't really belong to her. So obviously this is going to be something that's weighing on Callie, and it's obviously something that has weighed on Justin in the past, because he just doesn't know really who he should tell or who he shouldn't tell. But obviously he was very deliberate in choosing Callie as a person that he wanted to share this information with. So another question for you, if you had a big secret, so maybe not necessarily something as huge as admitting that you're gay or something like that, who would you tell if you had a big secret that you needed to tell somebody, but you know, didn't want that information being shared? Who would you tell? And I know the one person that I absolutely would tell would probably be my mom. We're really close. But then the second person that I tell a lot of my secrets to is my best friend Shiloh, and she probably knows more about myself than I do. But she's definitely somebody that knows a lot of different secrets about me that I don't really tell a whole lot of people. So those are two people in my life that I know that I can trust, and I know they're not going to go and tell anybody else if I tell them something that I want to keep confidential. So that's a slightly easier one to respond to if you guys want to just take a look at those questions on Edmodo and see how everything's going. I'm not really sure if everybody is hearing me because I don't see a whole lot of responses coming in on Edmodo, so if you guys just want to listen to the chat, that's fine, but we do really love it when you guys respond to those questions so that we have something to share with you too, and we know that that you guys are, you know, comprehending what you're reading in the story. All right, so more secrets came up in this section of the book. Bonnie obviously came up as a character in here. She goes up to audition for the part of Maybelle, and Jesse tells Callie that he knows her from tutoring. Why do you think Callie decided not to tell Jesse the real reason she knows Bonnie? Callie kind of skirts over the fact that she met Bonnie through Greg, who is her old crush, and she doesn't really seem to want to share that with Jesse, even though he seems pretty accepting of everything. So why do you think it is that she doesn't really want to share that information with him yet? So let me just go ahead and get that posted up on Edmodo for you. Thanks, guys. It looks like there's a couple of more responses coming in on Edmodo. Let me just check back on those, see what's going on. It looks like, to the big secret question, it looks like Megan is responding mom or dad. Really good people to trust with big secrets. Zach would responded that he would share his secret with his fish. That's a really great person, or, you know, like animal to tell a secret to, because they can't really share it with anyone. So I guess if that helps you feel like you're getting it off your chest, sharing it with something at least. And then Shelby also responded to the question about Justin and his secrets. So Shelby says that Justin probably felt at ease with Callie. Jesse probably would not tell Callie because Jesse is a shy person and he's not always sure about his next move. And that's totally true. So that's exactly what I think would be his reasoning behind not telling her. So very good points, Shelby. Thanks for responding to those. Okay, and we have more stuff to cover, and I really want to share some other graphic novels with you because it seems like everybody's really enjoying this, but not a lot of people have experience with reading comics or graphic novels, so I wanted to just take part of today to give you some ideas for other things that you can read that are along the lines of drama and other books by Raina Telgemeier, because she's an absolutely fantastic artist and fantastic graphic fantastic author, and she's also married to another really fantastic comic book writer. His name's Dave Roman, and he actually wrote Astronaut Academy, which is one of the books that I have to share with you later, possibly if we have time. So, other things that are going on in this. Let's see, page 84. I'm just going through each of these pages so that you guys have a chance to follow along. So, one of the things that I really connected with was on page 84, this panel right here, when Justin basically turns into like a crazy monster and starts shouting at them after he doesn't get the part that he auditioned for the play. So Justin gets really upset with Jesse and Callie on page 84. Why do you think he lashes out like that? He seems like a pretty easygoing, upbeat person, but even though they're trying to offer, like words of encouragement, like, well, you didn't get the part that you wanted, but you got this other really great part that you're going to do really well at. He just kind of explodes in their face. So why do you think he lashes out like that? And should Callie and Jesse have reacted differently to Justin not getting the part? Do you think there's some way that they could have prevented him having to like shout and lash out at them like that? So let me just make sure that question gets up on Edmodo for you. Just 1 second. There we go. Okay, so other responses to some of these questions. Thanks, guys, for going in and putting in those responses. It looks like Shelby, if she had a big secret, she would tell her twin brother Jake. That seems like a really good person to be able to tell, and that was the first person that Justin told when he kind of made this big discovery about himself, was his twin Jesse. So you guys are kind of like right along those same lines of who you would tell first. Okay, and for more secrets, the question about Bonnie and Callie not telling Jesse about Greg, Jordan says, I think because Callie might like Jesse and she doesn't want to scare him off. That would be a good reason, but I always think honesty is the best policy, and I think that this might come back to get her. I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to spoil anything because I definitely haven't read this, but I'm afraid that that's going to come back and get her, and might just end up being worse for her in the end. So let's see. Shelby also says, just in case Jesse thinks that Callie is dating Greg and would not ask her to go on a date. So that's the reason that she's not telling Jesse about Greg. That is very possible. Definitely doesn't want to bring up any jealousy or anything like that. So let's see. Karen has responded that she would tell her sister if she had a big secret, and that's a really great person to tell. I don't trust my brothers that much, so I'm glad that you have that much trust for your sister. Okay, so other things that happened, really, really great things, well, other than, like the not-so-great thing of Bonnie getting the part of Maybelle. But a really great thing that happened, Callie starts talking about her history with theater because her brother, she's making a model of the stage that she wants to create for this new play. And her brother's asking her about, like, oh, how did you remember when Mommy took us to a play and it was Les Mis downtown when I was 6, remember? Oh, I remember. And Callie starts talking about her history of being involved in plays and kind of how she got this obsessed with theater and the drama that goes behind it. And she talks about being absolutely obsessed and wanting to be Cosette, which is one of the main characters in Les Mis. And very quickly found out that her role was not going to be as an actor or as a singer in a play, but started learning more and more about plays and how they came about and what was important about them. So another question that I have for you, Callie's love of theater began when her mother took her to see Les Mis. From there, it grew into other areas of theater, and she became involved in stage crew when she saw a poster up in her middle school. So someday, Callie has said that she wants to become a stage designer for professional theaters like Broadway. So what are some of your passions, and do you have might someday want to turn into a career? So one of the greatest ways to figure out what you want to do is figuring out what it is that you love and finding out how you can possibly make that into something that you can do for the rest of your life. So this is obviously something that Callie is pursuing right now, as she's going about working on play sets and helping with all of the different productions that are going on at her school. So if you guys just want to take a minute to respond to that, I know middle school, you probably are starting to think about some things that you're interested in, maybe thinking about what it is that you want to do in your future. So just if you have any ideas about that, go ahead and throw them down on that question, and I'd love to hear about them. Okay, so a couple more responses to one of those questions. Justin gets really upset with Jesse and Callie on page 84. Why do you think he lashes out like that? Should Callie and Jesse have reacted differently to Justin not getting the part? And Shelby says that they could have said that totally stinks. Maybe Justin has never gotten a part he has not tried out for. So saying something like, instead just kind of like empathizing with him or sympathizing with him rather than trying to make it into a better situation, you think they maybe should have validated his feelings. So Megan also agrees with that. Definitely they could have reacted differently to Justin not getting the part. So yeah, they could have said some different things instead of just trying to make a better situation out of it, I guess. Trying to be more positive about it. Okay, so some other things that we can talk about. I thought one of the funniest scenes in this section of the book was when Callie was waiting for a text from Jesse at night when she texted him and just kind of invited him to go back to the bookstore. Let me see if I can find what page it's on. Page 120 and 121, if you guys are keeping along with your books like I am. So I have a ton of sticky notes in here. But I thought this was just one of the funniest scenes because I don't know how many times I have done this in the past, and it just made me laugh at her and then also laugh at myself because I was right there with her in how anxious she was feeling about getting this message back from him. So a question that I had that goes along with that, why do you think Jesse chose not to text her back and instead tell her about his plans in person? So I know that I always like to try to text people back so that I don't keep them waiting and make them feel anxious, but obviously he had some reason behind not wanting to get back to her right away. But I don't know if you guys felt the same way about that scene. I thought it was just really, really funny and something that I definitely related to, waiting for a message that you're just absolutely dying to read. So a few other questions, and then we're going to talk about some of the graphic novels that I have for you guys. So Mr. Mendocino is introduced in these chapters as well. They have, what is it called? The Banana-mobile is what they call it. Yeah, the Banana-mobile. So their old van, and it's yellow, and it just looks like a really fun car. But Justin reveals that he hasn't told his dad that he's gay when the group is walking around the theater bookstore, which is where they go on their special kind of date, but not really a date because, you know, they don't term it that way. And that's on page 131. What do you think Justin's expression says about his feelings on the subject? And that's on page 131. And let me just see if I can actually post that specific picture for you guys so that you can see what I'm talking about. His face was just incredibly expressive in this particular panel. So when you have sections of a page that are kind of boxed off like that, it's called a panel in a graphic novel. Oh, it wouldn't let me post it. Oh, there it did. Okay. So let me just post this question with this picture, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. So what does Justin's expression say about his feelings on the subject of not being able to talk to his dad about this? And why do you think Mr. Mendocino assumed first that Callie was Justin's girlfriend? And then why do you think Justin has decided not to tell his dad that he's gay? So a couple of things that go along with this question, and then you can also take a look at the particular picture that I'm referring to when I say that his facial expression is just incredibly sad and also just kind of comical. But really deep questions. Obviously, Justin has taken a lot of care in choosing who he wants to reveal this fact to and who he doesn't, and his dad is not among that group of people. So why do you think it is that he doesn't want to talk to his dad about this? What do you think some of the differences are between him and Callie, and then also between him and Jesse, and why do you think that same level of trust doesn't exist with his parents? So going back, a couple of other responses to some of the older older questions. So one of my favorite panels, the one on page 120 and 121, why do you think Jesse chose not to text her back and instead tell Callie about his plans in person? Jackie says maybe he thought it would be more of an impact in person. That's totally true. It's kind of like a big surprise, like, hey, we're definitely going to the bookstore, but guess what? We're going to go to a different bookstore. And then he kind of like blew her mind, taking her to this amazing bookstore that has all of these different resources on things that she loves. So definitely it is more of an impact for him to tell her in person. And Shelby has obviously read the rest of the book, and she says, I want to say it, but I can't. So I wish you could say it too, but thank you so much, Shelby, for not spoiling the book for other people that haven't finished it. Okay, so just a couple more questions for you guys, and then I'll talk about some of the other graphic novels that I have. All right, we already talked a little bit about Greg. So we're actually just going to move and talk about some of the other graphic novels. I hope you guys have an interest in this. It seems like other people are interested in other books that are written by Raina Telgemeier and other authors that are kind of similar to her. So one of the ones that I have pulled for you is kind of a more recent book that we just actually got at the library. It's called My Neighbor Seki, and it is by, I'm going to butcher these names, and I'm so sorry, they're Japanese, and I can't pronounce it to save my life. So it's by Takuma Morishige and Tonari no Seki-kun. Oh, nope, sorry, that's the title in Japanese, so I can understand that much Japanese. But it's by Takuma Morishige, and it's basically about this really, really great student, and that's her on the cover, and then it's her desk mate, or like the person that sits across from her in class, whose name is Seki. And she's obviously a very good student. I mean, she has her textbooks out, and he is literally on the cover building a volcano. So it's basically the story of this girl. Let's see. Rumi. Her name is Rumi, and then Seki is the boy. And Rumi becomes fascinated by how this boy can be so occupied with things other than studying and paying attention in class. So she starts following his different movements, and then she starts actually laughing and having fun alongside him while he's goofing off in class. And it sometimes ends up hurting her grades, and then other times ends up getting her in trouble, but he never seems to get in trouble. So just a really, really funny story. It is what's called a manga. So let me find a good example of this. So this is manga, and it's Japanese drawing style, so it's usually done in black and white, and it actually reads a different direction. So usually books in America, they will open this way, but books in Japan, you read backwards. So you open them from, let's see, left to right, and then the way that you read them is actually backwards. So you start on the right-hand page and in the upper right-hand corner, and then you move this way. So it's very much opposite of what you're used to, but once you get used to the reading style, it just becomes second nature. So this is a really, really great fun one. I highly recommend this one. We just got it in. It's a really, really good one. If you are looking for another graphic novel by Raina Telgemeier, this is called Smile. And you can see this big circle on it with an E. That means it's an Eisner Award-winning book, which means it was basically crowned one of the best graphic novels by at San Diego Comic-Con. They're giving out these Eisner Awards, and Eisner Awards are like, I'm trying to think of what to equate them to, like Newbery and Caldecott medals, but for graphic novels instead. So these are the best of the best graphic novels, as determined by, I don't even know the comic industry awards. So Smile is another really, really great one. It has, it's basically the story of a young girl getting braces and her experiences with that, and also awkward relationships with boys and kind of like growing up and the whole middle school thing. So a really, really great book. Highly recommended. Oh, and hey, this is the copy that we got signed by Raina herself. And it's one that we're going to be raffling off at the end of month party out at the Hayden Library. So make sure you're there, and we'll actually be able to raffle that copy off to somebody that's at the meeting. Let me just check Edmodo to see. Oh, it looks like Jackie has read Smile, and it's really, really good. So that's awesome, Jackie. I'm glad that you've read that one. I read it too, and I absolutely loved it. It was one of the first graphic novels I ever read, and I'm really, really glad that you've read it too. So A couple of other responses, especially to the Mr. Mendocino question, which is right at the top here. It looks like Shelby said maybe because Justin has talked about Callie more often, so maybe he's talked about her more, so Mr. Mendocino just kind of assumes that he and Callie are dating or at least seeing each other in some way. And then Kelsey says, I think Mr. Mendocino assumes Callie is Justin's girlfriend because, first, because he is more outgoing than Jesse, and that's definitely true too. So just a couple more graphic novels that I'm going to share, well, two more that I'm going to share with you. This is American Born Chinese, and it actually won the National Book Award and also won a Prince Medal. It is one of the only graphic novels that has ever won a Prince Medal from the Young Adult Library Services Association, YALSA. And it is the story of a boy who is the son of Chinese immigrants. So he is American, but he was born Chinese. So born to Chinese parents. And it is his story of trying to fit in and understand both his Chinese culture, so his Chinese heritage, but then also live as an American citizen and kind of figure out how it is that he can balance those two different cultures that he's trying to be a part of. So this is by Jean Luen Yang, and if any of you have ever seen the Avatar: The Last Airbender series, Jean Yang is actually the one that does all of the writing and illustrating for the graphic novel series that goes along with Avatar: The Last Airbender. So he's a super, super amazing author. He has a couple of other books. One is called The Green Turtle. It just came out last summer. It's super amazing. It's about the first Asian American superhero. And then he has another couple of books, two of which that I highly recommend. One's called Boxers, one's called Saints, and they go along together and they talk about the Boxer Rebellion in China, but talk about it through the stories of some young kids that lived through it, or that he made up that lived through it. So really, really great stories. I have a bunch of other books that I want to share with you, but I don't have time to. We're actually past our time on the chat. So if you want to keep responding to the questions on Edmodo, that would be amazing. I am going to post some links to these different graphic novels in case anybody's interested in exploring other books that they can read that incorporate pictures in them. So definitely keep the discussion going on Edmodo, and just as a heads up to you guys, our next meeting is going to be next Thursday, August 20th. It's going to be led by Nick Madsen from the Hayden Public Library. I believe Nick is going to be leading it. And we're going to be reading pages 139 through 197. So that'll be next Thursday, August 20th at 4 o'clock on Edmodo and on Google Hangouts on air. So hopefully we will see you then. Thank you everyone for joining us, and I hope you have a great weekend and a great week until we see you next time. Okay.